Good morning. I haven't even had coffee yet. I slept pretty good last night, but I did wake up several times. It rained a little bit last night, but just for like 5 minutes, the wind got really gusty and it sprinkled and then went back to pretty quiet. So that was interesting. I did get the room situation figured out because I'll be to town tomorrow early afternoon. So the lady told me to call this other motel like 3 miles from them. And I was able to get a room there. And it's way cheaper. I don't know. I wish I would have known about this place before I booked. Actually, they may not have accepted boxes, but it is what it is. So I will be taking 2 zeros, which is a good thing because my feet are hurting. I'm actually kind of concerned a little bit with my, I'm just low-key concerned. I've got some nerve pain in the ball of my right foot. And it was just aching last night. And usually it's not bad in the morning or after I took the half day off the other day, it was better. So I think if I take 2 days off and start with new shoes, I think I'll be fine. But that's the plan for now. I'm gonna drink my coffee, have some breakfast and get packed up. And then we will get to walking. It is 6:27 and I'm walking. I was up early. I got up before 5:30 and I just really piddled this morning. I took my time drinking coffee and just kind of piddled around. But 6:30 is a fine time to be walking. I don't really have a plan today, just get somewhere between 20 and 25. And that'll leave me somewhere between 10 and 15 to town tomorrow. I don't think we got much of a sunrise. It started this morning. I saw just a little bit of color. And then it just went full on light. Just had a nice surprise this morning. I looked up and somebody was coming right at me. And I said, I'm shocked to see you coming from that direction. And her name was Pop-Tart. She said she knew who I was. She watched my PCT videos. So thank you again for following my videos. And she's doing a northbound of the AZT as well. However, she said she just decided to do this section southbound. So maybe I'll see her again when she turns and flips back up. But it was nice to talk to someone this morning, see a friendly face, and just continuing down this rocky descent. Haven't had a ton of views today. It's been mostly kind of in smaller brush or some bigger trees. We've done 6.3 so far. And for a mostly net down, there has been a lot of climbing. I was just walking along. All of a sudden I heard voices and I heard just boom, boom, boom. I was like, what the heck? And I turned the corner. There was a trail crew doing something to the trail. There was 6 of them. 5 of them were sitting there, not doing anything. And one girl had a big, pickaxe sledgehammer thing beating the heck out of a rock. But appreciate whatever improvements they're doing to the trail. But it was definitely unexpected, just all of a sudden, boom, 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 and voices. So I saw the sign for Brush Creek, but the sign was nowhere near the icon on the map. And then there's comments to don't go where the sign is, go past it to a big campsite, and then it's downhill. So I went to the big campsite, and there are tents everywhere. I'm assuming it's the trail crew. They just left their stuff out everywhere. And they were several miles away, but they even have their cook kits all out and set up and all that. I walked through their tents a little bit, but I didn't go far. I didn't see the water. So I kept going all the way down to where the icon is, and there's nothing there. It's just dry. So now I'm backtracking, turn around, going back to this campsite. I'm trying to find this water. I found the water, and it's a pretty good way, a few hundred yards back from those camps. And look, they just have stuff laid. They definitely don't keep very good camp. They got stuff scattered everywhere, even hundreds of yards from their tents. So I'm right here next to this big camp. I got back from getting water. There was nowhere really to sit down there, so I'm taking a morning break. But this definitely slowed me down here, a bunch of extra time. But oh well. Let my feet breathe for a few minutes, I'm eating the Builder Bar, and then we'll be on our way. Next water is in like 6.9. We had to cross the East Verde River. I think it's a small river, but flowing well. Like we can cross, I think there's a common that you can rock hop without even getting your feet wet. So that'll be the next water and our next destination once we get going here. You can see way down below me here, the trail. Been going down pretty steep for quite a while. And man, these long downs or these steep downs really hurt my feet. Ugh. All right, I've just been walking along. A little bit ago, I just passed a guy. I walked right up on him. I didn't realize he was there, just sitting in the shade. And I said, oh, I didn't expect to see you. I haven't seen anybody in a while. He said that he hadn't seen anybody in a while either, except he said that when he started that big descent, he said there were 3 or 4 people ahead of him. He said, so they're up here. And then somewhere up that big mountain that I just got down, somebody keeps yelling. Not like yelling like for help or distress, just like yelling to be goofy. You can hear it from a long way away. Getting close, well, within an hour of the river, and I plan to stop at the river for water and lunch. It'll be a bit of a late lunch because it's like 20 after 1 now. I was thinking I'll probably get the river around 2:15, but it sounds like there's probably gonna be more people there. I definitely thought I wanted to be around people. Until now, when I see people, I want to get away from them. Oh, things are so odd sometimes. So a few minutes ago, I came around a corner and this guy was coming the opposite direction. Definitely not a hiker. Not really dressed or equipped to be out here. Didn't really have gear. Had a big knife on his side. And he asked me, he said he lost his brother. And he was out looking for him or something. I don't know. It was kind of an odd interaction. So, I hurried up and kept going. But he kept going south, so he said they're camped at a ranch down here or something. But we're almost, in 0.6, we're gonna be at the East Verde River. And once we cross that, we're gonna be at the ranch that the lady and the 2 kids that gave me a ride the other day, it's their ranch. So that's gonna be kind of neat to walk through their property after they help me. I'm sitting here, right here past the river. So this is the Lyman Ranch, the lady who gave me a ride the other day. The guy that I met briefly earlier just stopped here and he was gonna go just camp just up here. It's only like 2 p.m., but he's from Latvia and he's just doing a section, so he's almost done. Man, I don't know whatever is going on with the weird incident with the guy. There's a bunch of screaming back and forth on the other side of the river. I'm sitting over here. The water in the river didn't look great, and I'm just not going to walk back that way anyway. I'm going to go to the spring to get my water for the afternoon when I'm done. But I was ready to stop, and I had in my mind I was stopping here, so I'm electrolyting up, and I've been eating some food. I'm going to open my Nerds gummy clusters to get me through this afternoon. I've done 15.4 so far. I don't know, I'd like to get at least another 7 probably. But we'll just see how that goes. Because I'm only 20.5 from town. So if I get 7 more today, that only gives me like 13 to get in the morning. All right, so really strange development. As I was sitting there, I was done eating lunch. I was gonna lay down for a minute. But the voices started getting closer to the river. There's a lot of screaming back and forth, a lot of yelling, a lot of F words. Couldn't really make out what they were saying, but I could hear bits and pieces. Sounded very angry. So I quickly packed up and was like, I'm getting the heck out of here. Because, you know, you really got to trust your gut when you're dealing with people anytime. But in the backcountry, you got to trust your gut. And my gut was telling me to get the heck out of there. I'm 0.3 away from the river right now, and I can still hear them screaming on the other side of the river occasionally. But I'm going to get my water up here in another quarter mile at the spring, and then I'm put some more miles between me and the crazies. Polk Spring was really nice. Partially shaded, like this meadow, grassy all around, and a nice clear stream going right through it. The guy from Latvia that I was talking to back at the river was there, along with 3 other people, and I sat there and talked to them way too long. It was, not too long, it was fun. I'm just not making very good time today, but that's okay. There's water again in 3 point something, so I didn't get a whole lot. Yeah, this is one of those days I feel like the time's going by and I'm just not making enough miles, but it's okay. All right, this is a really steep, long climb I was not anticipating. I don't think it even shows on here how steep this thing is. I've thought it was over several times. It just keeps getting longer. So this is just really unique. That's going south. After that really steep climb, I'm up on this big plateau that's high and flat. And it's just like a big prairie up here. And when you can see off the side, which I haven't been able to with the trees for a while, we're up really high. This is really neat. Here's where I'm gonna get my water for the night. Ooh, that is some good, clean, clear water. Hope it's cold. Find a spot to sit down over here for a minute. I hope you can tell on this camera. The ground is really, really rocky. Like everything is just rocks. It's 5:30. It's a little earlier than I would normally stop, but I have enough miles. I think I've got 21 or just a shade over. It's like 14 and a half or less to town. So I could definitely stop if I could find a spot. But so far lately it has just been everywhere is rocky, even though it's pretty flat. I mean, it's way too rocky to sleep on. So, just gonna keep going here, I guess, until I find something. Well, my feet are telling me I'm done, and I just found this spot. Like over here in the trees, perfectly soft dirt and room for a duplex. There we go, all set up. Now I just gotta get cleaned up. Before I start on dinner, I thought I'd tell you all a couple other things. So one, I used to have problems with like ingrown toenails. I've pretty much learned how to cut them and not have any issues, or not have any issues for more than a day or so over the last several years. So I was in town and I was needing to cut both my big toenails. And I usually like to do that like when I get to town before a 0, because then it has time to like the skin around it to heal before I have to start walking. It didn't work out like that this last time. And then this section has had a lot of steep downhills where my toes are just pounding forward. And I have plenty of toe room, so they're not like hitting the front of my shoes, but it's just a lot harder on the shoes, on my toes. So my big toe has been really hurting. So I got out my little surgical scissors and tweezers and had pus coming out of it and all that. But I got it all cleaned out and cut a little bit, and hopefully that'll get better overnight. If not, I'll deal with it some more in town. The other thing I was just going to show you all, since I'm only, you know, what, 13 miles or 14, I haven't even looked, away from town, and I get new shoes in town. My insoles have seen better days. One thing I think on this trail, they've lasted longer because they're not wet constantly. They have not been wet at all, actually. I've gone 450 miles with no wet feet. But the insoles have started to come apart, like right here, like at the bend of my foot. And you can see that I have really heavy wear on the balls of my feet. So I've taped them a couple times, and this one is just starting to come apart all the way. But for the most part, they've held up pretty well. The shoes are doing remarkably well, I think, all things considered. For most trail runners these days, the treads are all still like stuck on the bottom of the sole. Like I had the Hokas peeling off. It's real common to have the toe caps come off, and this is like just barely coming off. I don't know if you can tell on here, there's actually an indention in the ball of the foot, like where it's way softer than the rest. Like the ball of the foot, the cushion is just dead because these shoes have probably over 500 miles on them now. The uppers, other than being dirty, are in great shape. So my first pair of Brooks Calderas, I think these are a dang good shoe, and I'm going to keep wearing them. I got some wear on the heels, but I mean, that's not a big deal. So now that all the dirty stuff's out of the way, it's time to start cooking some dinner. So this stretch, I had that one backpacker meal that I got out of a hiker box, and then I bought 2 Mountain Houses at Walmart. I normally don't do the freeze-dried meals just because they're so dang expensive. Like, if I can find dehydrated refried beans and rice, it's like a couple bucks to make up a good dinner, where these are like 10 to 14 bucks. But Walmart does have them for like $9.96 usually, so I did buy 2. I had 1 ramen, but since I'm going to town a day earlier than I had thought maybe, I of course didn't eat the ramen. This is the last of my backpacker meals. I'm going to have chicken and dumplings tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. These meals are just so good, and they're so easy, and they're so nice to have. But you just can't get them all the time. I mean, other than the price, they're just not readily available in a lot of these little trail towns. But I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to probably have a payday, and then I'm going to brush my teeth, and then I'm going to edit this video and go to bed. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, it'll be dark in 20 minutes. So before I have to put a flashlight on my face, I'm going to tell you all now, have a good night. Come back tomorrow. We got 13 point something. I did 21.8 today, and that left 13 point, I don't remember what, point something to get to town tomorrow. Once we get to town tomorrow, I'm going to the one motel the first night, and then I got 2 nights at that other place that has my shoes. My feet really need a break, and I am really looking forward to having a couple days off. I do have a full resupply coming with my shoes that I had packed before I left. So I won't have to resupply this stretch for the next, or this time in town. So I'll have to do laundry, and I don't think there's laundry available. I'll have to go to a laundromat. But anyway, we'll talk about town when we get to town. So have a good night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.